Hey everyone, it's Arkeem Ra, and I just want to do a little video on energy healing. The first thing I want to say is just if you're thinking about doing it and you have the resources to where you could contact someone and try it out, I highly recommend it. I know that it might seem like kind of pseudoscience-y to some people and like silly, but the reality is, let's look at it as from a scientific standpoint. Radioactive materials have always harmed us. And until we understood them, it seemed like some sort of magic metaphysical thing. The fact that this material just eats away at things and kind of poisons things and has all these wild properties. Now we've got Geiger counters and ways to read radiation, ways to measure it. And the way that we prove things are real is by measuring them. And not everything can be measured with a Geiger counter or some sort of device you carry around in your pocket. And science will eventually catch up with this stuff, but I would say the proof is in the pudding when it comes to all of the people who have experienced this stuff, experienced Reiki and things like that, and have had profound transformative experiences. So for me, I'm going to go into some energy healers that I've worked with over the years. I want to provide them with, if you guys are watching this, you can cut your clip out and use it as a testimony. Um, but I figured it would be unfair to only address one person who's worked on me when I've had transformative experiences with many different people, well, 4 different people at least. So the first person I want to bring up is Amir Jahangiri. Amir is the Wizard of Wivenhoe. He's got a website. I'll link it in the description. And basically, it's one of those things where his energy is just nice, and he's a very pleasant person to talk to. And for me, what I found is he was able to. I was surprised at how many of the things that he encountered when he was working on me that he was able to recognize. And I'm a tough cookie. I'm an MK Ultra programmed person, ancient entity connected to, you know, I go back millions of years as far as what I understand, and it's very complicated doing some of this work on me. What I found is not only was he able to recognize a lot of things that I was very impressed, but also adapt to changes and adapt to things that he maybe hadn't encountered before or that he wasn't used to. And I felt he did a very good job at clearing it. And also, he was duly dedicated to the work. And I think we did 3, maybe 4 sessions before he was satisfied and said, "All right, I'm done with you." And I really appreciated it. The last thing that he did is I had some sort of entity sucking energy from my heart chakra, and he disconnected it from me. And it actually healed. I could feel it healing, almost like a wound. You know how it can be itchy, and it just felt like a very, like I said, like science can't measure these things, but I mean, there was a mark on my back, and it was itchy, and it wasn't like a rash or something like that. It was different. I don't know how to explain it. It was more like it felt like it was in the muscle. Um, and yeah, it was just, yeah, profound to me. Really, it was doing the work with him. And yeah, I just think he's a great person to work with. So I just wanted to bring him up. Wizard of Wivenhoe, Amir Jahangiri. Very great guy, my true friend. And yeah. So the next person I'm going to bring up, and this would be an edit mark for you guys, 422, um, is Matthew Mournian. Now, again, people's styles have a lot to do with why you might approach them. Like, Matthew and Amir are both totally on par with each other. They're just as good as each other. I wouldn't call one better than the other. But I would say this. I would say if you're more like, there's no question about it and you believe in this stuff or whatever and you're not cynical whatsoever, Amir might be better for you. He's kind of got that. bubbly personality, joyous personality, or whatever. But I would say that if you're like cynical and more skeptical of the work and stuff like that, if you work with Matthew Mournian, I think he'd be a great person to work with for someone like that who's like opening themselves up to this stuff but not fully understanding it yet. But like, hey, if you can show me results, then I guess I can't argue with it. If you're going into energy healing and energy work, taking care of your energy body with that approach, I think Matthew's a really good person for someone like that. Because he won't judge you for feeling that way. I don't think he would make like feel like you're stupid or silly for questioning it. I think he'd be like, no, that's perfectly reasonable. And it actually helped me because I worked with Matthew way before I worked with Amir, and I think it actually helped me open myself up to work with other energy healers because the work that he did on me was profound, and I did feel palpable change. Um, so I just want to say that he's really like incredibly accessible, very busy. Rememberyourmission.com. Him and his wife are just always working on people, and yeah, they're good at it because of it. You know, they've worked on a lot of different people, and it's like anything, practice makes perfect. So I would say, you know, I'm sure Matthew would probably say I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but I mean, practice does make you a lot better at something. And Matthew and his wife, Honora, are two people who have been doing this for a number of years and sustainably and with people all over the world. So again, they're going to encounter different things, and they're really going to work better with maybe pitfalls that they encounter because they've encountered them before and stuff like that. So I'd say I'd highly recommend rememberyourmission.com. Matthew Mournian, I highly recommend reading his book if you are going through the awakening process. Remember Your Mission. It's on Amazon and all that great stuff. It really is kind of like almost like a sort of rough, loose field guide for people who are experiencing psychic awakening because it's not this beautiful, glowy thing all the time. Sometimes it's like being scared, questioning things, having very strange things happen to you that other people won't understand. It can be a scary experience. And I think that Matthew explained it really eloquently in his book. And I think that he just showed it. And I think that like a lot of people, when they read that book, myself included, Catherine, my fiance included, we both really feel uh, like a sense of like, it just kind of helps you feel like not alone and that other people have went through like a similar process of like awakening. So yeah, just all encompassing there. Like again, I didn't want to leave anything else, so shout out to Matthew Mournian and his wife Honora, who are doing great work over there in their corner. Now I'm going to move on to somebody else. I'm going to move on to Shan Bond. Shan Bond is of the Psionic League, and Shan Bond is, so the way that I would describe him is he's like a light warrior going into things, solving situations, solving problems. A lot of what he does is not one person. He's just out there doing stuff all the time, activating missions, being like, "Well, we found this thing. We remote viewed this thing. We're gonna send its energy back at it, or transmute it, or get rid of it, or whatever." He's out there just kind of just witnessing things, observing things, talking to people, finding things, getting rid of them. And he's been doing this for thousands of years. I know him, just like Amir as well. I'm probably Matthew too, but I know for sure Amir and Sean, both those guys, and I go back, way back. And something that is cool about Shan Bond, that I don't even know if he realizes this, but I'm going to tell you, he was gifted with a lot of the codes that assets have to fix them. So there are codes that it takes to go into certain programs. And somebody I'm going to bring up after this, the last person I'll talk about, Drago Reid. I did QHHT with him, which is, the quantum hypnosis trance. And basically, I had certain, like, it would have taken us like 3 days. He could have done it without Sean, but it would have been hard, man, because I have all these programs that come in the way of trying to go into things. And this isn't healing. QHHT is different than healing. I want to be clear about that. But when Drago was trying to go in to certain things, I had these programs up that were in the way. And I had an alter come out and tell him, do this with Shan Bond. Have Shan Bond at the QHHT because he has codes to get into certain places. So he's been doing this and going around, and that's the reason why he has those codes, is just because it's like his mission to heal people, his mission to get these MK Ultra assets who were inverted, they were light that were inverted, to bring them back to that flame, that light. That is his whole mission, his whole goal. I mean, I'd say it's Amir and Matthew's goal as well. Is to do there. It's all, we're all a part of it. You know, one person can't heal everyone. There's so many people who need this. But yeah, I would just say that for MK Ultra people, um, he'd be powerful to work with because he has some of those codes. But that's more of a QHHT thing too. I'm sure though in healing as well, he could access certain parts of you that might be blocked off because he, yeah, he got given information by being, I guess, an insider and leaving. He was also a part of these kind of programs and stuff like that too, but he's just trying to bring people out of it with him, I guess, would be the best way to put my interpretation of Shan Bond in his work. So um yeah, I just wanted to shout them all out, and I'm sorry. I know like it's usually probably better to have be shout out alone individually. Maybe I'll do that later, but all of these people have worked with me and they've done an excellent job. And I want to bring up now Drago Reid, who does quantum healing hypnosis therapy. Fractaloflight.com, I believe, is his website. I'm going to link it in the description of this as well. And basically, what he can do for you is he can help you recover your memories. And it's very hands on because he can ask you, what is it you're trying to recover? What is it you're trying to remember? It's not that he's going to guide you to remember false things or anything like that. It's more of like, we have a lot of repressed memories, us, like lifetimes of it. So you need to and can be, I guess, be specific and get the information that pertains to your journey and moving forward. That's the important thing. It's not just to bring up all the trauma and all the stuff. It's to find the correct information and move forward. So, yeah, I just wanted to shout all these guys out. They do amazing work. And you know, in the near future, I will be doing energy work. And that's one thing that I want to bring up is I need help with training. I think I'm going to actually be reaching out to some of these people individually. But I need to do this too because I have a unique perspective. And I need to integrate people's alters. This is an extremely complicated procedure, and I already understand it because I've done it in other lives, and I need to relearn it, and I need to step into my role as an energy healer and as a clearer and as an integrator of altars, and just this is my mission. I've told people in lots of videos that in the future I literally work at a clinic where my job is DID integration therapy. That's it. That's what I do. I live in Canada at a facility, near a facility that I work at, and it's near Winnipeg. This is the future that we're trying to manifest, and I'm ready. I don't need a clinical facility. I just need to learn how to do this correctly. I don't want to harm anybody. I don't want to do anything wrong. So I do need a bit of training. So I'm throwing that out there. I need to do this as well, but I stand on the shoulder of giants. When I do move forward and start doing this, these are people that I all really look up to, that really have taught me a lot through the work they've done at me, who done on me. These are people who have inspired me to move forward and do this kind of work myself. And I would just have to point out to my appeal that I'm putting out here. I am extremely fucking poor. I'm doing this full time, and I am barely making rent every month. Barely. So, I can't. I would like to figure out maybe a trade or something, or an IOU system to where once I start getting clients, I can pay them back once I start doing my own work. So I don't know. That's another thing that you know, you gotta keep in mind is once I'm out here, people are gonna be going to me as well, and I don't want to take away or be competition or anything, but I know that everybody I know who does this work understands it's bigger than them. It's bigger than financial compensation, and it's more about this is what we need to do. It's for the light, it's for the good, it's for God. And since this is what we all need to do, God will provide and make it all happen for us, I think. So this is not just this is a call to action video sort of too, is I need help with this, and also just to other energy healers, people, light workers out there who feel the calling to do this. I think there's an energy going on right now where there's a lot of light workers who are in training, ready to do this work. I have been gaslighting myself saying because I was so abused by these programs and put through so much darkness, I can't heal people. That is BS. It's the opposite. That's the reason why I can heal people. It's because I have seen the deepest darkness and the most hopeless situations you can ever imagine, and I got out of them. So to me, that means I can take on fucking anything. So yeah, anyway, I love you guys so much. I really want to also um, shout out my Patreon patrons in the near future here. Um, yeah, I have some really great patrons, and I just want to shout you guys out. Um, I'm not gonna do that right now, but in the next video, I will actually shout you guys out. I'm posting a little thing in my Patreon, just in case people don't want to get shout out. But it's mostly like names and stuff like that. Like it's anonymous, so if I see some actual names, I might hesitate because some people don't want everybody knowing that they are involved in this stuff. So the last thing I want to do is like thank you to my patrons and then have someone have their name publicly put out there and maybe they don't want it. So I'm just gonna make sure that I don't do that on accident. But I'm gonna start thanking you guys. I really appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, that's the video, you guys. I just wanted to. It's just a yeah. That's it. I don't really need to go on anymore. Thank you so much. Love y'all.